Omar Khan never sleeps. Even though we got Aaron Rodgers, he knows the job ain't finished. It's like Kobe Bryant whenever he was asked that question after, I think it was a big win in one of the final series. And they were like, oh, how confident? Like, you must be feeling good or whatever. And Kobe's like, no, we still got to finish this series. Job ain't done. Steelers got Aaron Rodgers. Job ain't done. We still got to complete out this roster. And as we sit here Wednesday, June 11th, the second day of the Steelers mandatory minicamp, all I'm seeing is positive reports, good stuff coming out in regards to the front office and business side of things with the Steelers. Basically, what Omar Khan's role is and the stuff that he oversees. He's cooking right now. Ton of positive reports revolving around the Steelers front office. So let me get into them. Because first, we got this one. According to CBS Sports' Jonathan Jones, the Steelers are reportedly lowballing teams in trade talks for an offensive playmaker. Who leaked this information? It's got to be one of the teams that Omar Khan is dealing with here and negotiating with, trying to make it seem like the Steelers and Omar Khan is the bad guy for lowballing teams. What else are you thinking right now? I mean, the first offer, we're talking about trying to get a weapon here. We're trying to get a playmaker. We're talking to teams about a trade. We're just going to give you top dollar, first call in. Come on. You know how to do trades? You know how to negotiate? So there's that. But also, Omar Khan doesn't make a bad deal. Like, we ain't paying top dollar, period. We'll throw our initial offer in and, you're going to want something a little bit higher, a little bit more in your favor. We're never paying that price. Like let's just start off with that. Omar Khan doesn't make a bad deal that makes the Steelers be the lesser part of a trade. It's just not what happens. Not at all. Like, maybe some can complain about the Pickens trade. We should have never traded Pickens, but I think that was more, as the reports came out after the trade happened, that was more of a Tomlin thing. And, we were just ready for a fresh start. A third-round pick for Pickens, based off all the things, all the reports that came out after the trade, was insane, because all the other teams that we were trying to negotiate with was laughing at us. They were trying to give us like a 5th or a 6th round pick, a day 3 pick. We ended up getting a 3rd round pick. I mean, you just look at any of these deals that Omar Khan makes, whether it's free agency, whether it's trades, the dude doesn't make a bad deal for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So let's just get that straight. Yeah, we're going to throw some low ball offers in there, and whatever you think you can get in the trade, you're not getting anyway. Maybe we'll come off of the initial low ball offer a little bit, but we're not going anywhere towards your favor in a trade. That's not how Omar Khan operates. But also the fact, too, Steelers have leverage in terms of adding a playmaker, adding a weapon, because Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen are chilling out there in free agency for free. And when I say free, I'm talking about giving up assets to get them in here if we were to go that route. Even Gabe Davis, who we just had in for a visit, he left with no contract, ended up visiting the Saints, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago. So he's still out there, but part of that is due to him not being able to pass a physical. No, like, none of these teams that he's visited with, including the Steelers, really think that he's fully healthy right now and he's ready to go. But you also have Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen, where we wouldn't have to give up assets to get them. We could just sign them for a 1-year deal, $7, $8, $9, $10 million. So whoever's out there and is looking to get up off of a weapon or a receiver, willing to make a trade, like, you also got to realize that too, from the Steelers standpoint. We got receivers that are out there in free agency that might even be better than the receivers that we're talking to you with about. Say the Packers or Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson. Are those dudes even better than Amari Cooper or Keenan Allen right now? I get that they're younger. You got the familiarity with Aaron Rodgers. Same thing with the Jets and Allen Lazard. You got the familiarity with Rodgers, but are they better than Amari Cooper or Keenan Allen? And we don't have to give up anything to get an Amari Cooper or Keenan Allen? So, like, all right, let's relax with these leaks about Omar Khan and the Steelers throwing out lowball offers. It's like, who really has the leverage here in this whole situation? And it's just a part of negotiating. It's just a part of doing good business for your team. You're not sending out the top dollar offer right away. It's just foolish. So I don't know who's leaking this information. But I like it because is this supposed to be a bad look for Omar? Is this supposed to be a bad look for the Steelers? No. I love it. Love it. This is what the con artist does. But we also got the TJ Watt situation in place. I mean, you heard Tomlin yesterday. He's not concerned about it at all. But Garofalo on NFL Network was saying the Steelers feel good in talks with TJ Watt. The situation isn't contentious. I don't feel like this one is contentious, said Garofalo. If a player misses mandatory minicamp over the next couple of days, you don't have to fine a player. We'll see what the Steelers wind up doing on this one. I know that they feel really good about the talks and that they feel really good about the talks that they've had, and the offers that they've made. Mike Tomlin has the belief that TJ Watt is going to be just fine working away from the facility, so they're not stressing about that part of it. If there was a pressure point right now, and the start of training camp seems like it's a pressure point. Sure, we were talking about the training camp, or at least that time period being line in the sand with the Aaron Rodgers stuff. So it's fair to say it's there with TJ Watt, although TJ Watt has more leeway, I think, because it all depends on what he does in training camp. Like, he didn't sign whenever he got his deal a few years ago. He didn't sign that deal until I think after the preseason games were over. We were a few weeks away from the regular season starting. All he was doing was a hold in at training camp. Like, he wasn't playing. He wasn't doing anything really. So I don't think training camp's even a line in the sand. As long as TJ Watt shows up to training camp and does the hold in thing, I don't think there's anything to worry about with him being ready for the regular season or the contract being in jeopardy of not getting done. So yeah, I don't know if I'm fully that. At least the start of training camp. I don't know. I don't think training camp's that big of a deal with this. You want TJ Watt signed by training camp. Let's not get it twisted though. Like, we don't want this conversation to be continuing deep into the portion of the offseason where, you know, the closer and closer we get to the regular season, essentially, with training camp and preseason, all that. Because with Rodgers signing, the vibes are high. We feel like we're all winning 2025. Let's get TJ Watt in there as soon as possible. But he also says, I feel like this thing would get done, and it will get done at some point. So there you go. Situation isn't contentious. Steelers feeling good. Omar Khan has got this under control from a business standpoint. The deal will get done. And yeah, we would like TJ Watt there for the mandatory mini camps for yesterday, today, and I guess is there another day or two of it coming up? We would love for that to be the case. It's you know, the best case scenario, but dude, in terms of TJ Watt getting ready for this 2025 season, I'm sure he's working on his own, and the work that he's doing on his own is more strenuous than anything he'd be doing at this mandatory minicamp. He's going to be fine. And it's just kind of like the same thing we were saying with Rodgers. Like, if Rodgers didn't sign before this minicamp, this wasn't going to be the breaking point where the Steelers would say, oh, man, Rodgers missed too much. No, it was never going to be that case for Aaron Rodgers, who is a guy that's new to the franchise, and it's definitely not the case for TJ Watt, who's been here for, 7-8 years and one of our best defensive players in the franchise history. So I ain't stressing about it. I don't think many people are stressing about it that are close to the situation. And Garofalo confirms that with that report right there. Again, we could question whether or not it's smart for the Steelers to pay TJ Watt the $40 million, if that contract will age well over the course of 3 to 4 years, all that stuff. But when push comes to shove, this deal is going to get done. We need TJ Watt out there for 2025. That's what I think you do. You go all in for this year. You give TJ Watt the contract, and then you ask questions later at the end of the season. If you got to pivot, you pivot for the 2026 offseason. TJ Watt's got to be here. We just signed Aaron Rodgers. Let's not mess around. Another thing, in terms of front office moving and shaking, we got a tweet from Ricky the dog, the Twitter dog burner account that a lot of people swear by. This dude drops a lot of news before it happens, and he's pretty accurate. I mean, the only thing from what I know that he missed on was the Brandon Ayuk stuff from last year. Like he said, Brandon Ayuk was signing with the Steelers months before it happened. He stuck with it. He's like, man, I'm going to die on this hill. And ultimately, Brandon Ayuk goes back to the Niners instead of signing with the Steelers, like Ricky the dog reported. So outside of that, I don't know what his misses are. And today he just reported or tweeted out that the Steelers have inquired about both Jaire Alexander and Jalen Ramsey. Says he expects the Steelers to acquire one of them. Omar's cooking. Hashtag here we go. Ricky redemption arc. So he even knows, like, he screwed up on that Ayuk report last year. Some people have lost faith in him. His credibility, not as good as what it once was, but he's trying to gain it back. And this is a bold call, too. This is a bold call. If he whips on this one, we ain't going to use his tweets anymore as reference. But I'll tell you what, man. I'm hoping this is true. I really am. Because it kind of goes back to what I was just saying with TJ Watt and making sure that he's on this roster for the 2025 season. Like, that's what the Steelers got to do. You just give TJ Watt the contract. You figure it out. Because you're all in. You signed Aaron Rodgers. You're all in. You're really trying to take a swing at winning the Super Bowl here for this upcoming season. And you can afford to get one of these guys. Alexander or Jalen Ramsey. Alexander's a free agent now. Was just cut by the Packers. It's not going to take much to get Jalen Ramsey. You're going to have to take on a portion of his contract, but the Steelers can afford to do that. We have a lot of cap flexibility. Even with us potentially signing TJ Watt, we can kick the can down the road with his cap hit for, year 3 or year 4 on that deal. We could bring in a Jalen Ramsey. We could not only bring in a Jalen Ramsey or a Jaire Alexander, but we could also trade for a Jonnu Smith. We could sign an Amari Cooper still. Like we have not only a singular move that we could be making here to add to this team. We have moves. And why not? That's my big question or my big statement with a reporter tweet like this, or with some of the reports and tweets that have come out about the Steelers looking for weapons. Gabe Davis coming in for a visit. Us potentially having interest in Amari Cooper or Keenan Allen, or making a trade for one of Rodgers' former receivers, or making a big splash like trading for a Brandon Ayuk. Why not? Why not? And it's not like we have to make one of those moves singularly. We can make plural moves. We could bring in Jalen Ramsey or Jaire Alexander and add a weapon on offense. Trade for a Jonnu Smith too. Like we can make multiple moves here. We have cap flexibility. We have Aaron Rodgers. Why not? Why not? We've complained. We've lamented in the past that the Steelers are too conservative. We're not aggressive enough in trying to make moves and add to this roster and go all in for a Super Bowl. We have a great opportunity right in front of us right now to make a splash. And those that may be complaining, the cornerback room becomes too busy if we bring in a Jaire Alexander or Jalen Ramsey. It's like, dude, great problem to have. Great problem to have. I said the same thing about adding pieces on offense. Oh, man, we have Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson, Amari Cooper, and DK Metcalf, and Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington, and maybe potentially a Jonnu Smith. Oh, my. The rest of the league should feel so bad for us. Fans of the opponent's team should feel so bad for us. We have too many weapons. We don't know what to do with all these weapons. Aaron Rodgers has too many options to throw to. I'd love to have that problem. I would love to. And let's not act like this is some like pie in the sky type of thinking on loading up, like bringing in a guy with cachet like Aaron Rodgers and having him be a recruiting piece. Not only could he recruit and reach out to some of these players and try to bring them in here, but just him being on the roster is a recruiting piece in and of itself. The cachet and who Aaron Rodgers is. People want to play with a guy like that. It's not this pie in the sky type of thinking like this can't be done. It's been done before and has had success from teams that have done it in the past. Recently, the Rams, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Rams, whenever they traded for Stafford, made a bunch of midseason trades, like bringing in Odell Beckham, traded for Von Miller, just like loading up, like making moves that you're just like, man, don't you already have good players? You don't need you don't need a Von Miller. No, we want him. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. We're making no qualms about trying to win a Super Bowl. They had Robert Woods, they had Cooper Kupp, they had Van Jefferson, and they still go out of their way and trade for Odell Beckham. Why? Because you know what? Let's get Stafford as many weapons as possible. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. Tom Brady and the Bucs. As soon as he gets there, he brings in his crew. Gronkowski. Who else goes? I'm trying to think. Who else went there from the Patriots? I mean, AB kind of technically. AB ends up following him. He was a Patriot for a day. AB, Gronk, and then you got a bunch of other veterans that are chasing rings. Leonard Fournette signs there on a cheap deal. You got guys on defense like JPP. I'll take a cheap deal, go play with the Buccaneers. Brady for cheap. I'm trying to win a Super Bowl. I'm trying to go play with Tom Brady. I know we got a chance. We're in that position right now with Aaron Rodgers. We are. We have Aaron Rodgers. We have a roster set in place right now, pretty much. But there are some, there's some fine tuning. There's some tweaks that can be done. Let's not get it twisted. But we got a ready-made roster to make a run to be in AFC contention right here. But we also have cap flexibility to bring in more pieces. And I will say again, why not? Now, if I had to pick between the two, Jaire Alexander, Jalen Ramsey, I'm going Jalen Ramsey, and it's not even a question. Now, yes, you're going to have to trade something to get him, but it's going to be something like a 6th-round pick, 5th or 6th-round pick. You take on a portion of his contract. Jalen Ramsey is just way more versatile and way more healthy than Jaire Alexander. And it's not even like he's that much older. Alexander's 28. Jalen Ramsey's only 30. It seems like Jalen Ramsey's been in the league for a minute, which he has, but he's still only 30 years old. And he's still playing pretty decent. But he's way more versatile. Like Alexander is an outside cornerback, strictly outside cornerback. Jalen Ramsey, he can play the inside, low key. I know Jalen Ramsey's claim to fame is being an elite outside corner. Is probably the best, or if not one of the best, of doing that over the last decade. But in 2021, that was with the Rams when he was playing on a defense and a team that kind of knows what they're doing, knows how to operate. He played 31.3% of the snaps in the slot. Again, shows his versatility. So if we bring in a Jalen Ramsey, I know we already have JPJ, Darius Slay. It's like Jalen Ramsey can play some slot. You can put Jalen Ramsey at safety at times. Then you could also put him on the outside. Then maybe you bump in JPJ or Darius Slay at moments, or you still have a Beanie Bishop. Great problem to have. We have too many good corners. Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. I mean, we were talking about, or I've talked about, I think not only me, but some of you guys as well have talked about some sort of 3 cornerback combination if Corey Trice can actually become something and develop. Like even with the combination of corners we had last year, or even the last couple of years with like a Dante Jackson, and before Dante Jackson, who do we have in here? Like a Pat P, Levi Wallace, and we still had Corey. Like we drafted Corey Trice. We were talking about like, what if Corey Trice develops and we have him and JPJ, and we still got one of these outside corners in Pat P, Levi Wallace, and then like I said last year, Dante Jackson. Now it's Darius Slay. Like, what do we do with those guys? What do we do with those 3 corners? I said, you could probably run some 3 cornerback rotations and just get creative with it. So like, how much better would it be if you could do that instead of Corey Trice, though, to Jalen Ramsey? Hall of Fame cornerback who's not over the hill, still getting it done. Had decent seasons in Miami. Wasn't the best or anything, but again, you look at the last time he was actually a part of a defense and organization that knew what they were doing in the Rams, like he was elite and he was playing snaps in the slot and excelling. So I would like to think the Steelers were more in the Rams tier of organizational competence versus the Dolphins. I know we have our complaints about the Steelers, but we're not the Miami Dolphins. We're not to that degree of not knowing what we're doing out there. So I would pick Jalen Ramsey over Jaire Alexander. Super Bowl champion already, 7-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro. You compare that to Jaire Alexander, who's only a 2-time Pro Bowler, and he's hurt all the time. In 3 of the last 4 seasons for Alexander, he only played 30% of the snaps or less. 3 of the last 4 seasons. In 2022, he played 16 games, but in the other 3, when you combine it all up, 30% of the snaps or less. That's absolutely crazy. Crazy. Yeah, you don't have to give up anything to get Alexander, but I'd rather just get Jalen Ramsey. I think he would fit better. We got Aaron Rodgers, man. Why not make this trade for Jalen Ramsey or make this move for one of these cornerbacks and also still sign Amari Cooper, trade for Jonnu Smith? Like, you could do all of that if you want. You can. It's affordable and not affordable. We'll say it's within our budget. It's absolutely within our budget. We can make it happen. And also sign TJ Watt to a contract extension. We could pull it off. Why not? You got Aaron Rodgers in here for $10 million. Bro, take advantage of the opportunity. The Bucs did it with Brady. The Rams did it when they traded for Stafford. And it worked. And how even the Eagles, like everyone talks about how they, do it the right way. They draft well. Everyone's homegrown. I mean, they're always in free agency making big splashes. CJ Gardner-Johnson, Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown. Like, they're always making big splashes to add to their team. So why not us? Why not us? It's time. It is time. And I feel like we're trending in that way. I mean, you see how Omar Khan operates. The dude does not mess around. Look at what we did last offseason with us signing Patrick Queen, making just a lot of different moves and excelling in these drafts that it's just we're not used to with whenever it was the Kevin Colbert regime. Omar Khan just operates differently. So, like, we got Aaron Rodgers here. We already made some nice moves in free agency this offseason. The team's kind of set in place. We need that extra weapon. We need that extra receiver. And maybe we're going to get an extra piece for defense too, on top of us having Juan Thornhill, Minka Fitzpatrick, Deshaun Elliott at safety, and then at corner, Darius Slade, JPJ, Beanie Bishop, Corey Trice. We brought back James Pierre. We signed up Brandon Eccles. It's like, okay, we got all those pieces in the secondary. Why not bring in Jalen Ramsey too? Why not? I like the mentality. I hope Ricky's right. I hope Ricky the dog is right on this one. We got a question here. Do you really think Jaire and Jonnu would put us in contention? I think we're in contention now. So, yeah, that only helps us. Again, I would rather have Jalen Ramsey over Jaire. And then with Jonnu, yeah, that'll be interesting because Rodgers was talking up Darnell Washington. He was really talking up Darnell Washington, comparing him to Mercedes Lewis. And you got to think Darnell's our number 2. So maybe we might just be fine rocking with the tight ends that we got. Wouldn't be opposed to trading for Jonnu. He had a Pro Bowl with the Dolphins last year. Like, why not just ransack the Dolphins and get Jonnu and Jalen Ramsey in a package deal? But either way, like, if we could also make an addition on defense on top of adding a weapon on offense, come on, bro. It's just extra insurance. That's the worst case scenario, and why I was for us trading for Mike Williams in the middle of the season. Even though it didn't really pan out, it's like worst case scenario is extra insurance in the receiver room, which we needed. Because outside of Pickens, bunch of question marks. And that's even as we were winning games and we were sitting at 10-3 at the middle of the season, or at least more towards, I guess, even past the middle of the season when we were at, 10-3, winning all those games. We were on that winning streak with Russell Wilson. It's like we still knew we needed another guy. We needed another piece in that receiver room. And even if the guy didn't come in and light it up, whoever we got, at least you're getting insurance. At least you're getting that. Still, the Mike Williams thing didn't work out. It still wasn't a bad deal, though. It wasn't a bad deal. One more comment here before I get out of here. I just really hope the O-line gels. Yeah. I think it's a lot on Broderick Jones. He's going to have to step up. I think that's what's going to be a big make or break point for this offensive line. Because I got faith in the other four guys. Frazier, McCormick, Fautanu, and Sayamalu. I have faith in Broderick, or maybe hope. I at least have hope in Broderick. Yeah, I think he'll be fine. I really do. He's going to get back to his rightful position, lost some weight, more agile this offseason. Said, yeah, he's at a good spot where he could gain weight as the season goes on, and he's going to still be in shape. And, yeah, I mean, year 3 for him too. Hopefully the leadership abilities take a step up, and that's what some of the reports are saying about Broderick right now. He's becoming more vocal, becoming more confident in himself. And, yeah, hopefully we get what we were hoping for out of Broderick whenever we drafted him. I could see it. I really could. But, yeah, that's it for today's show. We'll be back tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Hope you guys enjoyed. Here we go, Steelers. Peace.